Good morning, and here now the news. Do you remember this email job offer? A copy of this email message from the Defense Intelligence Agency first appeared on social media in February 2016, and it attracted over 3,000 viewers in just 24 hours. Recently, the recipient of that job offer, former congressional candidate Mike Webb, is speaking out and beginning to ask more questions about why he received that letter offer of a lucrative job for which he was not even qualified before the filing deadline for the Republican nomination convention in the 8th Congressional District, raising a reasonable level of suspicion about the incumbent Congressman Donald Byer Jr., the only person in that congressional race with the potential authority to have caused Webb to be offered a federal job for which he was not even qualified, but which, if accepted, would have precluded him from continuing in the race as a candidate under the Hatch Act. Late-breaking news in the Arlington County Public School Board race. In a traditional Democrat stronghold, may be the early Christmas present for the Republican Party of Virginia candidates for statewide office, that upon which a bookie would not have placed a bet, and involving the most unlikely source for disclosure, the publicly known, unabashed conservative and ever-interesting Mike Webb, who in May of last year achieved instantaneous international notoriety when his posting of internet browser tabs merely suggesting pornographic content went viral to almost 630,000 users on Facebook in less than 24 hours. Webb has consistently maintained that such a broad exposure in such a short amount of time would be impossible under known causes for a viral phenomenon, which include extensive promotion and coordination and placement of that post at a portal that received massive engagement. At the time, Webb was a candidate who had been defeated in a 400-delegate convention 2 weeks before, in a D+16 Democrat stronghold where no one reasonably expected a challenger to be even competitive. Simply, no one should have been looking at his Facebook page at all. But yesterday, the first response to a request for information to the Defense Intelligence Agency under the Freedom of Information and Privacy Acts was received by Webb, and it does not look like a success story for the winner and incumbent legislator, Congressman Donald S. Byer Jr. of Alexandria, a well-known luxury automobile dealer in Northern Virginia who was handpicked to succeed Jim Moran when he retired amid allegations of corruption in 2014. Webb, an experienced FOIA analyst, is more concerned by what was fully disclosable under FOIA and Privacy Act law, even more than the cited exemptions by the agency, which he believes also should survive a challenge on appeal. The response from DIA was said to be the result of an exhaustive search that found only 4 relevant documents, but which found eligible only 10 pages for release. This release quantity of information confirmed some of Webb's early allegations of corruption because he had stated with authority on many occasions on social media that his request would produce less than 20 disclosable pages. Webb had often emphasized his concern about that agency's decision to place the response on indefinite hold because such a response, classified as a non-complex case, is routinely fast-tracked by any federal agency operating with a backlog to improve daily progress reports. And Webb's insistence on this fact, while not persuasive to the office of Congressman Don Beyer, was dispositive in gaining the intervention of Senator Mark Warner to intercede and expedite the response. Webb expressed today that he was very concerned that the reply from DIA failed to include his application and resume, which would detail and substantiate the qualifications upon which that agency relied to offer him a job for which he was not even remotely qualified, and immediately before the filing deadline for the Republican nomination convention against environmentalist Charles Hernick. The released material also failed to disclose a rank-ordered but redacted list of the top candidates considered for the job offer, as well as their redacted resumes, all of which are routinely released under FOIA for such personnel actions requests. This information, too, would substantiate Webb's allegations that an inappropriate offer was extended to him. But more puzzling is the fact that that agency failed to release a copy of both the original email that offered that job to Webb, as well as the follow-up email that Webb had received again to offer the federal job for which he was not qualified after the deadline had passed. Webb, who was just recently the object of public ridicule by Scott McCaffrey, editor of the Arlington Sun-Gazette, for being nixed from a candidate forum sponsored by the Arlington Civic Association immediately after he indicated to the Civic Association delegate Lois Thomas Kuntz that he fully intended to discuss the corruption in Arlington politics at the forum, may well be singing a different tune today. Perhaps someone is being tripped up by their own paperwork or non-existent forms. And Webb expressed this morning to this media agency that he really did not want to pursue this course of action, but just as the rules are the rules, the law is the law. After a highly suspicious termination, after his campaign for U.S. Congress broke local precedent in press coverage as a conservative challenger in the most liberal and reliable congressional district in the former states of the Confederacy in December 2015, Webb has been unemployed, bankrupted, and is currently homeless, residing in what is called by his staunchest critics a luxury car where he is only playing the martyr. Stay tuned for continuing developments in this case of corruption in Northern Virginia, and to be the first to know when the next shoe drops. At WEBB, we get the news first, and we get it to your doorstep from the street. Is this just another conspiracy theory? Is this the deep state at work, retaliating against persons who supported President Donald Trump? Is it a tale of the corruption of another multi-millionaire using his wealth to purchase influence? Or is it all just a huge misunderstanding? Wherever the facts take us, we will continue to report this story that no other news agency is bringing to the voters of Arlington or to the American people. Stay tuned for more updates. God bless you, and have a good day. And that's the way it was in the 2017 Arlington County School Board race. I am Major Mike Webb, and I am running for Arlington County School Board. Good night, and God bless you. Back to you in the studio. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb. Honest. Honest. Honest.